10, 9. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Mostly Mondays with Megs. Why mostly Mondays? Because sometimes I don't feel like it. And I mostly just want to talk to you when I actually have something to say. You know what I'm talking about? So, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time joining, I've been a coach, a healer, a transformer uh, for 29 years, and I have done podcasts over the years. And this one is really a lot for me, actually, to just come in here and share what I'm processing, what I'm looking at right now, in hopes that it will be of service to y'all and anybody watching at this time. So today's, I'm very excited today's. In fact, today's might be the most important one that I've done ever, ever, ever. Um, and so it's going to be a little pithy. It's going to have some density to it today. And my hope is that you listen to it again and again, and that you take advantage of the resources I'm going to suggest from this podcast today. So, welcome, Mimi and Wira and Marion, and the it doesn't always show me who's watching. So hello everybody. Um, I'm going to start by reading a few excerpts from one of my very favorite books on abundance, and that is let me see, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. And I like this better than Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich for me is a little bit heavy. I have to read a lot to get to the good stuff, kind of a thing. And there's all kinds of good stuff in that. But this is sort of a condensed, uh, these are the essential ingredients kind of a thing. And by the way, Think and Grow Rich was actually based on The Science of Success by Wallace Wattles. And one of the books in The Science of Success is called The Science of Getting Rich. By the way, I'm considering doing a book club on this in the next little while. So if you're interested in doing a book club around this, please let me know. It's called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. So whatever may be said. Oh, by the way, I'm going to shift because was written like in the late 1800s. I'm going to shift the wording because he talks about man a lot, and I'm just going to change that to person just so we can include all the genders. Whatever may be said in praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life until one is rich. No man can rise to his No man, no person can rise to their greatest possible height in talent or soul development unless they have plenty of money. For to unfold the soul and to develop talent, they must have many things to use. A person, the object of all of life's development and everything that lives has an inalienable right to all the development it is capable of attaining. A person's right to life means they have a right to have the free and unrestricted use of all things which may be necessary to their fullest mental, spiritual, and physical unfoldment. In other words, their right to be rich. Okay, I have a little bit more to read. Stay with me. This is good stuff. And if you haven't read this yet, I'd highly recommend it. And remember to post if you would be interested in this as a book club. To be really rich does not mean to be satisfied or contented with a little. No person ought to be satisfied with a little if they are capable of using and enjoying more. The purpose of nature is the advancement and unfoldment of life, and every person should have all that can contribute to the power, elegance, beauty, and richness of life. To be content with less is sinful. This is one of the things I love about this book. It throws some real, hi from Norway. Torgen, I haven't seen you for a while. Hello. Um, this kind of throws a lot of the religious programming on its head, right? Where it's like, well, it's sinful to be thinking about wealth and riches. And this asserts it's sinful not to, because it's directly related to the development of one's gifts and capacities. So I'm going to get a little deeper on that in just a moment. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere. And thank you, everybody who's joining. Um, the desire for riches is really the desire for a richer, fuller, and more abundant life. And that desire is praiseworthy. Sing it, sing it. Real life means the complete expression of all that man can give forth through body, mind, and soul. Full expression, right? Whatever someone can say, no one can be really happy or satisfied unless their body is living fully in every function, fully in every function, and unless the same is true of mind and soul. Wherever there is unexpressed possibility or function not performed, there is unsatisfied desire. Desire is possibility seeking expression. I love that. Desire, Marion, grab that quote. Desire is possibility seeking expression or function seeking performance. So desire is coming from a place inside, a seed inside that is given to us by the creator, however, whatever you call the creator, in order that it become expressed and actualized in and as the universe expanding. See? Oof, so good, right? And I believe that we are not given a desire that we don't have the means to bring to fruition. However, if you're playing the lack game and say, let's say 20% of your consciousness is being utilized to worry about money, to worry about how much, to, oh, well, I can't do that. And you're like, oh, like you see these things, maybe coaching programs or classes or travel that you know would help you expand your gifts. And you're looking at your bank account rather than making that choice. You are prioritizing lack over your personal development. So, the other thing I want to say is that every time every time I have done a money event that from a live, not just teaching money principles, but when I've actually facilitated a live event where we really go deep into money constructs and like moving them, it always comes, and I didn't know this. I never planned this. My first money event, I had no idea. But where this conversation of lack goes is a refusal of one's potential, power, and greatness. People keep themselves poor so as not to develop because they're scared of their own power. They're scared of developing their gifts. They're scared that maybe they won't be received out there in the world. So they actually refuse wealth to make sure that they don't fully develop themselves every time, which is why I love this book so much, because this book is talking about that. And as it turns out, I didn't actually come to this book until after those events where I was like, I don't think, Torgan, ouch, I don't think, I hope I'm saying that right, by the way. I don't think that I didn't understand it at the time. I'm like, what? Like, and then looking in the mirror at myself and going, wow, that keeping yourself without access to the full resources you require. Hello, Erin, is keeping yourself out of your power. And you're using money to do that. And you're using the lack of money to do that. Okay. Well, I'm going to show us a way out, everybody. So here we go. By the way, if you're just joining this, These are pretty short. They're going to be under 30 minutes. And um, so stay with me because I'm going to teach you some, I would say, the 4 essential steps to healing lack. Um, so at the end of this podcast or near the end. So stay tuned, will you? Okay. Where was I? All right. One cannot live fully in body without good food, comfortable clothing, and warm shelter, and without freedom from excessive toil. Rest and recreation are also necessary to this physical life. One cannot live fully in mind without books and time to study them, without opportunity for travel and observation, or without intellectual companionship. To live fully in mind, one must have intellectual recreations and must surround themselves with all the objects of art and beauty that we are capable of using and appreciating. To live fully in soul, we must have love. We must have wholeness. We must have access to all things. If you neglect this study, and what there he's talking about is the study of riches, you are derelict in your duty to yourself, to God, and humanity. And this book doesn't talk about God as like a person, it talks about God as one substance, just using the word God here for whatever reason. You're derelict in your duty to yourself, to God, and humanity. For you can render to God and humanity no greater service than to make the most of yourself. And if you're always hanging around the lack tree, running around the lack tree, you cannot make the most of yourself. Any amount of time you spend worrying, you spend making lesser choices for yourself because you don't have access to the resources. You are denying your own greatness. Yeah, I'm gonna go into preacher mode here, boys and girls. Okay, boys and girls and theys and thems and all the ways that one identifies themselves. This is by Megan. So to refuse wealth is pride of poverty. To refuse wealth is your pride of poverty. By the way, my oracle is on live with us today, Marian Gutierrez. Would you please put in this thread the link to my Did You Take a Vow Poverty radio show? So I'm going to be giving you some resources here. I'm going to give you, obviously, I'm not going to heal all your money and lack stuff in 30 minutes or less, or mine. I've been working on it 30 years, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But there's some resources I want to give to you so that you, if this really speaks to you, that you have some place to start. Okay. I'm doing a lot of clearing on unconscious and generational commitments to poverty in that radio show. That is Suzanne and I, love life and all things weird. Okay. A rich life is required to live fully expressed. Lack of money is a reflection of lack in your consciousness and your beliefs. Cultivating a sense of peace and flow with money is not about money. It's about healing the schisms in your consciousness. I'm going to say this again. Cultivating a sense of peace and flow with money is a healing of the schism in your consciousness. Yes, it's beautiful to have money and flow and to have all those resources. And fundamentally, when you choose that, when you choose to do whatever it takes to heal that, you are healing schisms. Okay, beautiful. So it's not about how much you have, because for each person, what we require to fully develop our gifts is different. There are some people who, if they didn't become billionaires, would not express their full potential. That's part of their path. For others, they don't need as much. But as long as you're getting to that place where you are actually choosing based on what will grow you and what will develop you. And you actually do not have to look at whether you have the resources or not. You absolutely know that choosing that the resources are available to you. That is the point. It's not about how much, but you have to know who you are. You have to get real with who you are, because again, some of you are designed to be multimillionaires, and you are playing in the pride of poverty, and it is not actually a service to this world and to this universe for you to keep yourself small. Hallelujah, brothers and sisters. I'm on a roll today. Whew, probably going to get some feedback about this one. Oh, by the way, it was actually right before I got on live, that I decided that I wanted to make my Money Whisper program that I did last January. Is my most popular money program. Got 30 hours of content, and it is one of the most brilliant programs around changing your relationship with money and releasing your constructs around lack. It's called the Money Whisper. I've got $100 off special for you to the end of the year. If you want to get it, it was $299, so you can get it for $199 till the end of the year. Just put in the code MW100. So Marion, if you could put the link to the Money Whisper in here, as well as the code that they can use, MW100, that would be amazing. You may need to get the link from Brandy. I'm not 100% sure if you've got that on hand. So, okay. Most of the shit that you hate in the world, like war, poverty, sex, the sex trade, all of that, all of the stuff that you just like, why is this happening in the world? The root cause is lack. Yes, MW is the code. And if you can find the link, go in the store and find the link to the course, that would be great, Marion. The root cause of everything in the world that you are frustrated with, that you would like to see changed, the root cause is lack. It's the feeling of, I don't have, therefore I need to take. I don't have, therefore I need to be a bully. I don't have, therefore. So it's a lack of having. It's a lack of having. Okay. So the title of the book I'm reading from, as well as the Money Whisperer course, will be posted. Come back to this link right after, and all of the links will be here. Okay. If you're looking out in the world and you're frustrated at war, you're frustrated at all these things, it is an invitation. I think it's more than an invitation. There's a word I'm thinking of. It's just like it's almost like a demand from the universe to heal the lack that we have in ourselves. We can't heal the lack in the world unless we heal the lack in ourselves. And that actually takes time. Okay. Like, as I said, I've been at this. I first had the awareness that the way that I thought impacted my universe. I didn't understand lack thinking probably at the very beginning, but I would say that I've been at this pretty full time for like 23, 24 years, something like that, of like healing the places of lack, learning how to create an abundance mentality. Because the truth is that I think that because there's been so much lack for a million plus years on this planet, it's in our DNA, it's in all of that in order to truly heal it, it is lifelong. I also think about that in terms of self-love. I think self-love is the hardest thing we ever do, like bar none, right? And that is something that will work the rest of our lives. Just when I think I've gotten to the place of loving myself, the universe is like, well, do you love this? I'm like, shit, right? As soon as I get myself to a place of feeling I've healed my lack, it's like, oh, really? What about this? I'm like, oh, good. But it is this ongoing thing. If you don't look at it, if you look at it kind of like you brush your teeth, you got to brush your teeth every morning, right? It's like you've got to cultivate the experience of love, self-love, which, by the way, is one of the best ways to heal lack. So I've got 4 really quick things to talk about with regards to changing your lack, to actually cultivate. I don't care how many years it takes, right? Is like the more all the schisms that we heal, will contribute to a life that's fuller, that's easier, that has gives us more access to power, that have life be what it can be for us. So there's even if it takes you your whole life, and it probably will, to cultivate that, I promise you it's worth it. Every time I heal another schism, I get more life and so a lot more resources and a lot more free time and all the things, right? I just think it's the only path if you want to see a different world is to heal that which you lack inside. I would say that this year I made some of the most progress I ever have. I did a gold pull series with Shannon O'Hara. Some of you may know her. And I made a commitment in that program to stop abusing myself with money. And what does that mean? Don't worry. Don't fret. Don't go into, oh my God, I like judging yourself. Like literally, all those things are how you financially abuse yourself. So I made a commitment when I noticed myself doing that to change it in its tracks. And it was so powerful, you guys. Oh my God. So powerful. So, the four things: love yourself where you are right now. I don't care if you're $1 million in debt. Okay, cool. Apparently, you threw down the gauntlet to yourself. Your spirit threw down the gauntlet and says, hey, guess what? You're capable of more. How about we step up now? Love yourself for where you are, no matter where you are, all day, every day. Okay. Number two, develop a sense of havingness. Okay. Having this. There is a book. This is one of the best books I have read around this called The Having. Find it, get it. It is a gem. You practice that sense of havingness inside of you, which brings me to number three, which is the energy of gratitude. Now, a lot of people do gratitude intellectually. They think the things they're grateful for, and that if that gets you to the energy, beautiful. Keep doing that. But what I found is that most people actually disconnect from gratitude when they go into their head and they try to think their gratitude. Gratitude is an energy and it's a frequency and it's a felt sense. Put your hand on your chest, taking a couple of deep breaths in. Ask your heart to show you the frequency of gratitude. Bathe in that for a second. Bathe in that for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever you can do. Cultivate the state of gratitude. Boom, chicka, boom, boom. And number four, prioritize the possible. Every time you go into conclusion, every time you go into, oh my gosh, we're in a recession, we're in a depression, and that is all construct, my friends, and is all based in lack. Prioritize the possible. Okay, it's not about ignoring what's happening. It says, okay, given all of this, what choices do I have? What possibilities do I have? What else is possible? You must start changing your brain from the lack consciousness to the possible. I don't find that it's actually that useful to go right into um, like affirmation because you don't believe it yet. So, not that there's never a time or place for that, but it's like you must move from, oh, I can't afford this to, okay, cool. What else is possible? Right? Is there another way I can choose to create and afford this? All right. So, a couple really quick reminders. One is that my money program is 100 off to the end of the year. I mentioned the book, The Having, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. I can't pronounce the name of it's an Asian author for The Having. And I want you guys to say, if you're interested in a book club with The Science of Getting Rich, please let me know. That will be a free service, but I need to know that enough people are interested in that. And lastly, I have a invitation and referral only mastermind coming up called Creating with Magic. And by the way, you can't reliably use magic unless you start healing the schisms of lack because you'll pull magic through your lack and create more lack. So it's a missing piece that people have had around creating with their magic. And that's going to launch in January. It has a limited seats, only 22. And if you're interested in that, please reach out to me. I don't always think of everybody who might want to be invited. So if you'd like to be considered for that program, also let me know in the comment thread. And so thank you so much for joining me today. I know it was a lot. I know it was pithy. Please ask me questions. I go back and look at the comments, and I hope to see you. I'm going to be on here next week for sure before the holidays one more time. And I've got some special holiday questions, my favorite year-end questions and beginning of the year questions that help me create. So please stay tuned for that. And I will see you. Um, Same bat station next time. Ask me any questions you have about this as well. We'll see you later.